Hi everyone, Professor Sweeter here, and I thought I would record you a little video just to welcome you to our class and to help you get oriented with Blackboard. I understand that for some of you, this might be your first online class, and maybe online classes isn't your first choice. So I find it really helpful to connect with people via video on a regular basis. So, Communications 105, interpersonal communications, welcome. This is a 7.5 week long course, and together we will be looking essentially at relationships. When we talk about interpersonal communications, we're really focusing on relationships. And you guys know this just as well as I do. Relationships are everywhere, we can't escape them. And sometimes they're positive relationships, and sometimes they're negative relationships. And sometimes we just need to work on relationships. And so this course is going to investigate a lot of aspects of exactly that. We're going to start by looking at communication, what communication is. We're next going to look at our individual identities and culture and how that influences how we communicate with other people. We'll also look at our motivations. So why do we enter into relationships with other people? And then as we get deeper into the class, we'll talk both about verbal and nonverbal communication. And then we'll look at different types of relationships, including friendly relationships, familial relationships, romantic relationships, and of course, professional relationships. So I think you're going to find that this class is very important and very useful to you as an individual, navigating daily life and navigating your professional careers as well. And I hope you enjoy it. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Professor Ellen Sweeter. I am a full-time professor of communications at Goodwin. I've been at Goodwin now for 6 years. In a past life, I was a middle school social studies teacher and math as well. And I loved it. It was a lot of fun, but those of you who have middle school students in your life, you know you burned out pretty quickly. So I burnt out after about 15 years and made the jump to higher education. And I've been at Goodwin now for 6 years and I love it. I am also a graduate student at the University of Hartford. I am in my 4th year of my program. I'm actually in my dissertation phase, and I'm working towards my doctorate in higher education leadership. So writing my dissertation is almost like another full-time job. And essentially at this point, I'm about 2/3 of the way through it, although most of the work is still yet to come. How that works, I don't know. But my research is looking at breastfeeding student moms and the resources and supports that they have on college campuses. So hopefully something that is of interest to some of you too. And finally, I am a mom. I have a little girl, she's 2.5, and she keeps me super duper busy, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. So why do I tell you all this stuff? I tell you all that because I want you to realize that um, I understand where a lot of you are coming from. A lot of you are in a similar situation where you are working full time, you're going to school for your degree, and you've got families and other responsibilities too. And I think it's important to acknowledge that a lot of us are in that same situation and we're just kind of juggling and balancing everything. So I do want to remind you that if you have concerns or if you're finding that things are getting a little bit challenging, particularly where this is a 7.5 week class, I'd like you to reach out to me. Let me know, let's talk about it, see what we can do to help you be successful this semester. All right, speaking of being successful, let's take a quick look at Blackboard and some of the resources that you are going to need to be successful in this class. So what I'm going to do is quickly navigate over to our Blackboard page. I spend a lot of time in Blackboard. I work really hard on making sure that our site is in good shape and it's got everything that you need and that it's really user friendly. So I want to take a few minutes and show you a few things here to help you get just acquainted with the website. And I do want to encourage you to explore, click on links, check things out. You can't mess this up. I can mess it up, but you can't mess it up. So have fun with it. Just explore with Blackboard. You'll get a really good sense of what you can expect in this class. All right, so right now what we're looking at is the main page. This is the announcements page. There's also the home page for our Blackboard class. And if I scroll down, you can see all of the announcements that I have sent to you so far in this class. So there's only 2 at this point. After this video, you'll have a third one too. All right. So those are the announcements that you've gotten so far. I do want to point out there's some important links in there. One of them has my Zoom link in it. It also has some information about orientation and how to view assignments in Blackboard. And then there's another one about Nest powered by Starfish. So there's a lot of important stuff there in the announcements, and I encourage you to read through them carefully and make sure that you understand what they say. I also email them to your student email, so you're going to get them in 2 places, both in Blackboard and student email. All right. Other things that I want you to take a look at in Blackboard is over here on the left is our navigation pane. Announcements is the first link. That's where we are now. Right below it is syllabus. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that so you can see. This is essentially where you are going to download the course syllabus. I did my best to really put together a syllabus that is challenging, but also mindful of holidays and dates and, you know, our busy schedules. So if you haven't yet, right here at the bottom of this page, it says click here to download the COM 105 section 04 syllabus. That's this right here. If you haven't yet, please download it. Please print it out if you can. Essentially, this is the roadmap for our class, and it's going to contain all of the vital information that you'll need to be successful. Obviously, you can use it in an online format too. I'm still kind of a paper kind of girl, so I do encourage you to take a look at it and make sure that have a good understanding of what assignments are due and when. Also on this page, I just want to point out, this is the link to my Zoom office hours. We're still in this weird place right now where we're not going on campus regularly and it's hard to meet. And it's a great opportunity to use all of the technology available to us. So right here is the link for my Zoom office hours, and I've listed my office hours right above there. Also by appointment, so if you're not available during those regular times, you can set up a meeting with me and we can Zoom together, and essentially we can have a face-to-face conversation, and it actually is pretty effective, something that I'm very grateful that we have right now. All right, what else can I show you? Over here on the left, let's take a look at weekly units. When you click on weekly units, there's not a lot there yet because we just started. A couple things for you. First of all, it says click here to access MindTap. More on that in a little bit. I'm going to explain to you what MindTap is. Below that is week 1 with the dates. And what you don't see is after that is weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through the end of the class, week 7. All right. When you open up each week, this is the week's assignments. You have an overview for this week. You have some videos and some reading to look at, some PowerPoints, some activities and assessments, some discussion boards, and some quizzes and assignments all the way down. Okay, so there's a lot to look at there. My suggestion to you is enter each folder and start at the top and work your way down to the bottom. It's designed to just read just like that. All right. The other thing that I want to point out to you is discussions. We're going to visit that in a little bit because we're doing something a little bit different for this first discussion board. Then course projects. I'm going to suggest that you start looking at the midterm project because we'll be talking about that next week. And then below that is one of my favorites, the calendar. And on this screen, you can look at all of the assignments that are due for this class. And I have to scroll down a little bit because it's the end of the month, but you can see right there, I've put all of the grades for this class in the calendar already. And that's just another place where you can look and see when assignments are due. All right. So I'm going to go back a little bit and let's talk a little bit about MindTap. All right. So MindTap is the textbook that we use for this particular course. It is also a digital platform. A lot of the work that you're going to be doing is in the MindTap program. And so I'm going to take a few minutes here and show you what MindTap looks like and also show you a little bit of information about how to buy the book that is right for you, because I know it gets to be a little bit confusing. I will also be sharing with you a print version of the screen I'm going to be showing you in just a second so that you can really study it and make a good decision when you decide to buy the book. All right, so going back into Blackboard for a minute, let's take a look at what happens when we click on that MindTap link. So click here to access MindTap, of course, right below that technical support. Anywhere that you see this icon within our Blackboard page means that you are going to be navigating now to MindTap. So I'm going to go to MindTap. It's going to look a little bit different from your version of MindTap because I have the instructor version, but I think you're going to get the basic idea. Essentially, most of the assignments that you do in this class are located in MindTap, and this is it right here. This is also where you would access the textbook. This is where you're going to access a lot of the assignments. This is where you're going to submit your midterm project. So MindTap is something that, to be perfectly honest, you're not going to be successful in this class without it. Okay, so you need to have access to MindTap. Let's take a look. If we look at chapter 1, which is what we're looking at this week, this has to do with all the information about communication in general. So right away in chapter 1, you can see there's a getting started activity. You can read chapter 1. There's a video activity. There are some flashcards for you, and then there's a quiz, and those are all assignments. I know that they're assignments because right here it says orange, and that says count towards grade. And those are all assignments that you'll be completing to get through the chapter 1 activities for this week. I'm going to go ahead and click on this link right here so you can take a look at the textbook. Now I realize as this is loading that my version of MindTap and your version of MindTap are a little bit different. You're going to see some blue on the left-hand side. I don't see that. Unfortunately, I can't show you what the student version of MindTap is, but I think you get the idea. Here's a textbook for chapter 1. And what I really like about this is you can skip around. You can link to different parts. So I just clicked on linear model of communication, and then I can link and look at the vocab words as they come up too. So it's a really nice interactive textbook there. All right. And then of course you have those activities. So that is MindTap in a nutshell. It's again, the place where most of your work for this class will be completed. So a big concern that I know a lot of people have is what should I be buying for MindTap? Because it is quite honestly an investment. It is a lot of money. And I want to make sure that I help you understand what book is going to be best for you. So I'm going to show you this document really quickly. And I'm also going to send it to you. And it essentially says, what book should I buy for this class? Which textbook should I purchase? There it is. All right, you have 3 options here for this class. This is the textbook. It is called Interconnections by Bowman, and that's the cover right there on the top right. First of all, I do want to let you know you cannot purchase this book through Amazon or Chegg or Textbook Rental Agency. There's only 2 places that you can purchase this textbook, and that's because if you purchase it anywhere else, it's not going to include that digital access to MindTap that I just showed you. So please, please, please make sure you are purchasing this textbook either from the Goodwin bookstore or from Cengage.com. Cengage is the parent company. MindTap is the product. All right, so here are your options. There are 3 options that you can purchase. One is a digital platform, and that's going to be the least expensive option. Essentially, that is the website that I just showed you. This is the MindTap. And that's going to give you all the course materials and then the textbook on the computer. So that's the first version that you can purchase. On Cengage.com, that costs $50. All right, and that's a good resource if you are, or rather a good purchase if you're someone who has to be a little bit more conscientious about how much money you spend, or if you are someone who doesn't mind reading a textbook on the computer. The second option is the digital platform and print option, and that is a little bit more expensive. From Cengage.com, that is $96.95. And what that gives you is that same website that I just showed you, but also, if you look at the little icon of me up in the corner here, it gives you a printed version of the book too. And so this is what I have right now. It's essentially the textbook, and you would have to put it into a binder, but it's the full textbook right there. So if you're someone who really likes to have that paper, I will say that would be option number 2, is probably gonna be the best for you, but realize you can still read the textbook online on the digital platform. The last one is Cengage Unlimited, and that's option 3 here. I don't think a lot of you are going to need this particular version. Essentially, this is ideal if you're taking another class that requires the use of MindTap or other Cengage products. CAP 110 might be an example of that. I believe Psych 112 is another one. So for most of you, this option is probably going to be too much. It's going to be a little bit extraneous. But if you are taking another class that uses a Cengage product, this semester, this is definitely the option for you, because for $119.99, you can get all of your textbooks that use Cengage for that one fee. All right. Again, I'm going to send this document to you so that you can take a look at it. And I'm happy to answer questions for you, because I know purchasing the textbook is really important. And it's costly. I want to make sure that you guys know exactly what you're getting into. Just going to say one last thing. I'm going to say this as gracefully as I possibly can. As I said before, you can only purchase these textbooks in 2 places. You can only purchase it from Cengage.com or from the Goodwin University Bookstore, because that's where you're going to get the digital access. Getting it from any other place is not going to grant you the digital access. Given those 2 places, this is the tricky part, given those 2 places, one of those 2 places is a lot less expensive than the other, okay? One of those places is a lot less expensive than the other. So please do your research and think carefully when you make the decision whether you're going to purchase from Cengage or if you want to purchase from the bookstore. And that's as gracefully as I can say that. All right, friends, what else can I talk to you about tonight? Flipgrid. Flipgrid is something new that I'm trying this semester. Congratulations, you are my guinea pigs. Thank you. Yay. So for those of you who have been in a online class before, discussion boards they're okay. I personally, as an online student, I struggle the most with discussion boards. It's something that I just don't enjoy. And so I find that I miss them a lot. And so in an effort to help me be more engaged with the discussion boards, but also to help you be more engaged with the discussion boards, I'd like to try some Flipgrid discussion boards with you. Added bonus, this is a communications class, and your midterm project is a speech that you're going to deliver. And being able to practice with Flipgrid ahead of time is going to make your midterm speeches a lot easier to present to us. So what I'd like to do is take a moment and share with you Flipgrid. If you haven't yet looked at this, this is something that I think is going to be very helpful to you. And you can link to this, first of all, in our Blackboard page. When you click on discussions right here, and then week 1 discussion is right there. Click on that. And it's a couple clicks, I know. And then this is going to bring you to the information about Flipgrid right there, okay? And I've linked you right to our discussion. So here's the question that you're going to be answering. I'm asking you to introduce yourself to each other, and I'm asking you to talk about your experience as a communicator. Are you a good communicator? Are you not a good communicator? As I said a few minutes ago, discussion boards are not a great way for me to communicate. And so I'm trying something that hopefully will be a little bit easier, more engaging. And when you watch my Flipgrid video, I've talked a little bit also about other problems that I've had with communication. So here's the link right there. When you click on it, it brings you to this page with SpongeBob. He's supposed to be moving. Oh, well, there we go. Here is the assignment again on the left. And if you scroll down, you can record a response. And that response is going to open up a video recorder. So you need to have either your cell phone handy, your cell phone camera, or your webcam handy. and you'll be able to record a response. Responses are about 1.5 minutes. And again, they're going to be answering a certain question. All right. And what I want to show you in particular, I've got a couple of responses so far. So kudos to Shanice, Jennifer, Casey, and Jonathan. Yay! It's working. I'm so excited. But what I want to show you is when you're ready, you can click right there and record a response. But also part of the assignment is to respond to other people. And there's 2 different ways that you can do that. And I'm thrilled that there are 2 different ways. So I'm going to go ahead and pick on Casey. Hi, Casey. Sorry. And I'm going to pause her for just a second there. You guys can watch her later on. I won't embarrass her too much. But what I want to show you really quickly is how you can respond to Casey and give her some feedback. So your goal, of course, is to listen to her video. And then there are 2 ways that you can respond to her. You can do a text comment, which is a great way to make a comment back to her, or you can do a video comment. All right, so text or video, and I'm going to leave that up to you. Your first post, I am asking please that you make a video post, but your feedback to Casey and Shanice and Jennifer and Jonathan can be however you want. It can be either a video feedback or it can be a text feedback. All right. So that is this week's discussion board. I hope that it's something that works for you guys. I'll probably be asking you in a few days how you felt about it, because if it's something that works, it's something that you enjoy, I'd like to be able to use it for other discussion boards as well. All right. So that is basically what I wanted to talk about tonight for you. This is probably a longer video. I tend to record videos about 15 to 20 minutes long. I know that this is a little bit longer at this point, but as it's the start of the new class, I also want to make sure that you guys have a good foundation and you have a solid understanding of what we're doing this semester. So the last thing that I want to remind you is I am here. I am a real person. I'm on the other side of the computer screen, and I'm here for you as a resource. Okay, if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you're struggling with something about class, if you have any other problems with Goodwin, please reach out to me. Please let me know how I can help you, because that's what I'm here for. A couple different ways that you can contact me. First of all, you can text me. I have created a text message thread for each of us. And I do want to assure you that when I text you, sometimes I'm texting the whole group, sometimes I'm texting you directly, but when you text me, it comes to me and only me. So it's not like you're asking a deeply personal question and everyone can see it. It comes to me alone. All right. So that's one way that you can reach me. And I'll be honest, it is the fastest way that you can reach me. Another way that you can reach me is to email me. My email is esweeter@goodwin.edu, and you're going to see that at the top of the syllabus, of course. It's a great way to reach me. A third way to reach me is to call me. And I've also included a phone number on the top of the syllabus, and that is my office line on campus, but I have it forwarded to my cell phone. So you will actually reach me and it will actually work. Finally, the last way is to do a Zoom meeting. I have a private Zoom room that I've been using for office hours and for student meetings. And so if you need to connect with me later on as we get closer to those midterm presentations, I suspect that several of you will be meeting with me to go over your assignments. And that's just another way that you and I can meet and communicate with each other. All right, so communications, I'm doing my best to be as accessible to you as possible. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap this up here, but expect to see other videos from me every few days with more information about the class and just to check in with you. I am looking forward to a great semester and getting to know you, and thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.